Hi, what's happening? It's your boy Rico from StreetScores, and this is basically a Rico report because we're going to jump around from a lot of different topics. Now, most of this is centered around the rookie minicamps that's going on, all of the practices and everything, but we got to talk about the Washington Commanders schedule leak. Are we potentially playing in Spain versus the Miami Dolphins? You've probably already heard of this, but I want to do a deep dive into what all these sources are and if this is for real going to happen. And even Dan Quinn addressed it in his media availability after practice. And then also the Washington Commanders made a couple of roster moves, including cutting a safety. Does that mean they're potentially making room for Gabe Taylor or somebody else? Also, I have more rookie practice clips to show y'all. Some of the rookies even speaking after practice to the media, or even Josh Connolly doing like a signing out quick clip that I want to show y'all. And then of course Dan Quinn spoke on a lot of different things that I really want to dive into. But before we get into everything, of course I have a fun fact for you at the end of the video, and make sure you stiff on that like button, stiff on the subscription button, and stiff on the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. Really appreciate y'all for supporting every video. I'm about to start working on those film sessions for the rookie class. It's available only to channel members. And let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so the Commanders made a few moves earlier today as of like 10 something this morning. Of course, we signed tackle Tyree Phillips, which I already did an entire video on yesterday. And shouts out to George Carmi because he brings up a good point. He said the Commanders have made significant investments in the offensive line this offseason, ranging from blockbuster trades like Laremy Tunsil, first round draft picks like Josh Connolly, and then several veteran additions. During the first phase of free agency, the second one, and even this third one now, Adam Peters is not messing around. You know, I had to drop a bar on y'all real quick. That rhymed accidentally. It's just in me, not on me, man. You know what I'm saying? But also on top of the fact that they signed Tyree Phillips, they also released tackle Anam Dankwa, which makes sense. That was like a swap out there. And Anam Dankwa, even though he's a second-year player, but Tyree Phillips is going into his sixth year, they were both at the rookie minicamp tryouts, and I guess Tyree Phillips won that battle between the two. Anam Dankwa was technically signed on the team. Tyree Phillips was just a tryout. They cut tackle Anam Dankwa to sign tackle Tyree Phillips. The reason I'm emphasizing tackle is because there was an obvious swap right there. Then you have this third move, this third roster decision that has no complimentary decision to go with it. Safety Trey Rucker was also cut. Again, they cut a tackle to sign a tackle. Now they cut a safety, and it's an odd number, not an even number. So what is the potential corresponding move right now? Who are they opening up a safety spot for? And so is this potentially good news for Gabe Taylor? But I do want to throw out there that it does not necessarily mean that they cut one safety to sign Gabe Taylor specifically. It could very easily be for like Robert McDaniel, who I really like. I feel like he should have for sure have been drafted. I love his potential at safety. He's my favorite non-draft pick at these rookie minicamps right now. Outside of Josh Connolly, Trey Amos, Kane Madano, Jalen Lane, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who were draft picks of the Commanders. Outside of those guys, all of the undrafted free agents, all of the rookie minicamp tryouts, Robert McDaniel is my favorite player that are at this whole practice weekend that they're having right now. And so, and then even on top of that, they could very easily just release a safety and then end up signing any other position group, especially when we're down to the bottom of the roster, where a safety that, you know, for example, plays special teams. You know, a lot of these guys at the bottom of the roster, their best bet of making the final 53-man roster is being able to contribute on special teams. So you have a safety that plays special teams. That guy could be replaced by a linebacker that plays special teams. Like, directly replace, like with the coaching staff basically seeing them as the exact same position by job description, special teamer. Doesn't matter if you're naturally a safety, built like a safety, naturally built like a linebacker or whatever. You're very unlikely to actually play that position on defense on Sunday. So at the end of the day, you're on special teams. So we'll see. They cut a safety. We'll see if they sign a safety to replace him, and if that safety actually ends up being Gabe Taylor. It's good news for the Gabe Taylor, hoping he makes the team camp, but it doesn't exactly mean that it's for him. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. They're doing their last practice today. I don't think we're going to get any clips from today's practice. Again, I have some clips for you at the end of this video that came from the previous 2 days, some new clips that are coming out from different Commanders beat reporters and the Commanders themselves, but I don't think we're going to get anything from today's practice unless the official Commanders Twitter account uploads their own clip, and those are typically really short, already edited, slow motion, all of that type of stuff. But either way, moving on to the next part of this video, let's talk Commanders schedule leaks. Well, the only one that's been like thrown out there and apparently confirmed from multiple sources, even though none of the sources are like very, very trustworthy. None of them are like directly from the NFL themselves, even though Dan Quinn sort of confirmed it. We're going to get there soon. I'm going to even show you the clip of him talking about the potential game against the Miami Dolphins in Spain. But apparently, according to multiple sources, none of which, I would say are necessarily trustworthy, but the Miami Dolphins will host the Washington Commanders on November 16th, Week 11 in Madrid, Spain. And I never made it to Madrid. I was in Spain, but I never made it to Madrid, actually, which is pretty crazy. But hey, man, that boy Rio Robinson called it, man. JD Cinco, like he's been saying on the Commanders Kings, man. Rio Robinson called it. He went out on a limb and said, we're going to be playing the Dolphins in Spain. And what do you know, man? But hey, just to remind you, when you're saying JD Cinco, you got to add that Spain accent to it. Not just Spanish, but Spain specifically. Because it's really pronounced like Cinco. Just to warn y'all, because y'all are gonna hear it, and when we get to that accent in Spain, I'm warning you right now, it's way different than what you normally hear from like Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and all those type of people that's over here, that's on like the west side of the globe. That Spanish accent, little different. It's gonna be JD Cinco, just to warn you. Just when the first time you hear it, I don't want y'all to be shell shocked. And then even Dan Quinn addressed it. He was asked yesterday, I think it was before practice, after practice, either way, he was asked about the possibility of playing in Spain this next season, and he gave a bilingual answer. He was asked about it. He said no comment, but in Spanish. He said, sin comentarios.
Going to Spain.
Sin comentarios. No comment. I don't know what to tell you on that one. We'll see Wednesday, I guess, what happens.
And I thought that was pretty cool and pretty slick. I mean, even the fact that he like had that prepared, because I'm not sure if he's bilingual, if he just knows Spanish that well. I kind of doubt it. I've never seen him really reference Spanish outside of that. Maybe he has that in his back pocket. Who knows? Most people wouldn't look at me and think that I just know a lot of Italian. So maybe he does know a lot of Spanish. But either way, the fact that he had that prepared, he already probably knew that he was going to be asked that question before he even walked up the press. He already knew once these leaks started to go around and everybody was talking about it, he was probably like, yeah, man, before we had this rookie mini camp, let me go ahead and get ready to have some interesting reply to that or something. So this kind of confirms it, not all the way. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed by the NFL personally, like out loud yet. But we'll get that information on Tuesday, which we'll talk about a little later in this video. On Tuesday, we'll get like the official announcement of if this game is actually for real going to happen the way that everybody's saying it will. But I'm around like 90-something% sure that we are for real about to be playing against the Miami Dolphins in Spain, which is really cool, man. And then shouts out to Jay Daniels MVP. He brings up a good point, man. Jaden Daniels will play in his first international game this season after leading the Commanders to a 12-5 record and the NFC Championship game in his rookie season. Washington has not played in an international game since 2016 back in London. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. It's been like 9 years since we've gone somewhere, and that's just because we haven't been marketable. I mean, even back then, we were semi-marketable. You know, we still had like the whole remnants of the RG3 shine that we got from that 2012 season of people thinking like, okay, maybe they can bring some of that excitement back. You know, maybe Kirk Cousins can do it or something like that, even if RG3 can't. But since then, we haven't been marketable enough to where the NFL had a reason to even send us to an international game. Jaden Daniels' rookie season takes us to an NFC Championship game. Next thing you know, we're playing in the first ever NFL game in Spain. Ever. Nobody's played in Spain before. Us and the Dolphins will be the first two teams to do so when we face against each other. And then also shouts out to the two knuckleheads on Twitter, because he brings up a good point that, man, we are so back. When ESPN was doing a whole segment, like a whole part of their show on like the schedule release coming out on May 14th, and then they were breaking down some of the best games of 2024, you only had 3 players on the screen. Forget just the fact that it was 3 quarterbacks, but like 3 players specifically, at least in the screenshot that I saw, you can kind of see a 4th guy to the right. And maybe I'm just going to assume maybe that 4th guy is Jalen Hurts. It would make the most sense. But on screen that you can see from the screenshot that's been going around the internet, it is Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels. Plain and simple. So he's at least one of the 4, I guess you could argue, faces of the NFL while they're trying to promote this whole upcoming schedule release. You know, everybody's getting hype about it. The ESPN, NFL Network, everybody's going to try to get their views of it. And so why not throw one of the faces of the NFL up there? And that includes Jaden Daniels. But sadly, I'm even seeing Dolphins fans saying that Tua won't make it to November with his injury proneness, which is crazy. Like, I don't want to joke about it or anything like that, but with how his seasons typically go, that may be a real threat to this matchup actually living up to the hype that it may have. You know, by the time we get to that November game, we'll see. You know, I'm rooting for Tua. I like him, even though he did play for Alabama, and as a Georgia Bulldog fan, I have every reason to root against him, but he seems like a cool guy, man. So I'm not rooting for that, but you have a lot of Dolphins fans saying that all over Twitter right now. Like, they're like basically saying, why even get excited about the game in November in Spain, because our starting quarterback won't even be healthy enough to play in it. I'm rooting for him to be healthy though, and even though I'm excited about the marketing and brand opportunity that we could potentially like monopolize Spain's NFL fandom as Commanders fans after we beat the Dolphins, because most people that will be at that game, this would be like their first NFL game they've ever gone to in person. So we have that chance to win over and convert a lot of people in Spain into Commanders fandom. And that's all the positive side of it, right? But also, did y'all think about the fact that this game in Spain will probably start around like 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, our time in America? I mean, at least that's when London games start. They're 2:30 p.m. like for their time zone. And if anything, I believe Spain is like 1 hour ahead of London. So it may be even earlier. The game may be starting at 7:30 a.m. So just giving y'all the warning and the heads up for that as well. Be prepared to hear JD Cinco instead of Cinco. And be prepared for the fact that this game is probably going to be even earlier than a London game typically is. Or at the very least starting at the same time. And y'all know me, man. I'm a 1 p.m. game guy. I want to be able to watch my team, stream it with y'all, watch the game with y'all, and have the rest of the day to myself. But I've already accepted we're gonna have a lot of primetime games. We're probably gonna end up playing on Thanksgiving, Christmas, Sunday night games all over the place, and then Spain, the reverse of that, all the way early in the morning for no reason. But it is what it is, man. It comes with the territory. I'm happy that we're very marketable. I'm happy that we have like one of the faces of the NFL and Jaden Daniels on our side. I'm happy that everybody wants a piece of the Commanders, so they're gonna showcase us at primetime moments as often as possible. They want to put us on TV when everybody's watching. I get it. It's all great. But just as a selfish fan, just for personal reasons, I prefer 1 p.m. games. But I've already come to terms. We're not going to be playing at 1 p.m. very often. We're going to be one of the teams that plays at 1 p.m. the very least, especially out of East Coast teams. Because I understand if you're like a West Coast team, you're more likely to play at 4 p.m. just because you're 3 hours behind in the time zone anyway. We're going to be one of the least 1 p.m. playing teams on the East Coast doing it. And then speaking of other games and schedule releases, shouts out to JP Finley for pointing out the fact that the NFL schedule release is technically Wednesday, but the international games will be announced Tuesday in the AM. Other games will also be released through various broadcast partners below. He shows you this picture right here. You see NBC will announce theirs Monday, May 12th on the Today Show. Fox, same thing, Monday, May 12th, is along with Prime Video, Monday, May 12th. Then Tuesday, you have ESPN on Good Morning America. CBS and Netflix will announce on Wednesday, May 14th, CBS on CBS Mornings. And then even moving on from that, the NFL will start announcing games tomorrow, especially like the week 1 ones and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So be on the lookout for that. When we're talking tomorrow, we're talking about Monday. So again, we'll fully know everything about the schedule Wednesday, but we'll start to hear stuff Monday and Tuesday, and then you'll get some early stuff Wednesday, and then we'll get like the official announcement and the official full release by the NFL sometime in the evening. And of course, us of the Commanders Kings, that's Louis T, Ed Oliver, Rio, me, all of us will be on the Commanders Kings doing a live reaction once the full schedule is officially released. But of course, I'll be doing videos throughout the day about some of the most significant games and things like that. I'll probably give my predictions for some of those games. So I'll be doing videos throughout the day, and then once the official schedule is released, you'll have all 4 of us Commanders Kings together doing a live breakdown and probably like some record predictions, all that type of stuff. And then also, shouts out to JP Finley. He said he had a great talk with @JoeNFL ahead of the schedule release. His predictions: 2 Monday Night Footballs for the Commanders, 2 Sunday Night Footballs for the Commanders, Christmas in Kansas City for the Commanders, and Dolphins in Madrid. And George Carmi brings up a good point. It seems like there's a lot of energy and hype and like a train going behind this Christmas game with the Commanders potentially playing the Chiefs. And he said that he's heard this from a few places now. I have as well. I'll just don't be surprised. Commanders playing the Chiefs on Christmas. Now, I have my preference of 1 p.m. games, but I have like a severe preference for not having to deal with Commanders football on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I want to be with my family. I want to chill. I want to eat. You know what I'm saying? That means I can't stream those games because I'm definitely going to be with my family for those days. So that I do not want Christmas, nor do I want Thanksgiving. I'll prefer to play 8 p.m. every Sunday than have to deal with Thanksgiving and Christmas games. But hey, it is what it is. Again, it comes with the territory, and I'm thankful. I prefer this with the ugly times for games, ugly day for games, and we're great, than for us to go back being bad and nobody cares about us, which is why we were never playing at those times and on those days in the first place. So I don't want to go back, but I do miss my 1 p.m. games, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, moving on, Dan Quinn was even asked about the stadium and the 2027 draft buzz with it being in DC and everything like that, and the schedule anticipation. And he basically talked about how the team is just as excited as us fans are with a lot of these big things that are on the way for the Commanders and really just the whole DMV area. I also love something that maybe a lot of people didn't notice or think about when he gave his answer to that, is the fact that Dan Quinn assumes he'll be the head coach here in 2027 for the draft and 2030 for the new stadium. And I hope he is, and I'm also even willing to bet that he is, but I just wanted to point that out because it's crazy that we don't even question the fact that we have a head coach talking about being our head coach 5 years into the future, and our fan base isn't even thinking anything of it. Like, that was just like in the back of our minds. Nobody even paid attention to it. We just all assume that he'll be here, which goes to show how great of a job they've done in just a matter of 15 months of being here. But even going back to the initial point, it's really cool that they are that excited about everything like we are as fans. And it's just a beautiful thing that this entire team is bought into the whole situation, from ownership to front office to coaching staff to players to all of us fans, man. And speaking of excited, Dan Quinn talked about how excited he was for rookie camp and that he couldn't even sleep Thursday night because the rookies reported on Friday. Then we had yesterday, as in Saturday, where they had the open practice where I gave y'all a lot of the clips and highlights from it and did a whole analysis breaking down everything. If you haven't seen that, go check that out, that I did that video yesterday. But I mean, you could just tell how much of a football guy he is. This is rookie minicamp. We're not even talking about training camp. We're not even talking about mandatory minicamp. We're not even talking about voluntary OTAs. We're talking about rookie minicamp with only 5 draft picks. Everybody else is an undrafted free agent or even just a rookie tryout that isn't even signed to the 90-man roster. That guy said he couldn't sleep Thursday night about those guys just reporting on Friday. They didn't even do much. They didn't even have like a full-blown practice from what I've heard on Friday, and he couldn't even sleep Thursday night. I love the fact that we have a head coach that's that passionate and in love with the game of football, because I'm not gonna lie, if I had access to go to that practice, I probably wouldn't have been able to sleep Thursday night either, man. So I love the fact that we have a coach that loves ball just as much as me, maybe even more. And then Dan Quinn also talked about the onboarding process of rookie minicamp. He said that he's looking for communication and signs of guys that are learning. No 11 on 11, but these are days that we're all talking about skill work. What are you as an individual? And he said that it's been a good start to the offseason so far, so he's liked what he's seen from the small crop of rookies and things like that. He even talked about how he loves this time of year, mostly because of the value that comes with teaching the rookies and undrafted free agents how to become professionals, how to become NFL professionals, not just a player, but a professional on and off the field. He said, quote, "We're not going to miss one step of their development," unquote. For the veterans, he wants to make sure his staff is putting together a solid plan for how they can perfect specific areas of their skill sets. He said, quote, "It's nice to see how hard everybody is working right off the bat," unquote. I love it too, man. I love to hear it. Those are great things to hear from your head coach about this young crop of guys coming in. He also pointed out the fact that every rookie class is different, and I like the fact that he acknowledged that every rookie class is not the same. Just because they're rookies does not mean they're the same as other rookies. And that's the case this year when comparing this rookies group to the 2024 class. One thing Quinn hopes that they have in common is their desire to be good teammates. That, among other things, was something in the 2024 class excelled at, and Quinn wants to have that standard stay the same in 2025. He said, quote, "Not every player can become a great player, but you can become a great teammate," unquote. And hey, that could be someone's niche and role of making this team. So make sure, they want to make sure everybody's well-rounded. Are you good on and off the field? All of that type of stuff, and I love that. Also, there's always a handful of undrafted rookies who make the final 53-man roster, or at least the initial one. And that journey begins this weekend, of course. When asked about what they can do to improve their chances, Quinn circled back to one of their main pillars of the Washington culture, competition. He said, quote, and there's great examples from players who were in that same place, whether it was last season or seasons prior, who have walked that walk. We don't really want them to think about that yet, though. We don't really go so far to say what's going to happen in September. Just work these skills, learn the system, and the skills that are needed for that system, unquote. He's basically saying one step at a time, and he's also talking about the fact that we have a lot of featured undrafted free agents on this team right now. Austin Eckler, Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Reeves. We have a lot of undrafted free agents that are a part of this team that are currently contributing, that are starters, significant impact players that once were in the same shoes that a lot of these guys trying out in these rookie mini camps this weekend were exactly in as well. So there's a path for you, there's a goal, but hey, Dan Quinn's reminding them though, hey, don't get ahead of yourself, one step at a time. Don't skip over the small minute details, because that could be the difference between you not making the team and you making the team. Also, Dan Quinn was asked about Trey Amos. He confirmed that his back came up during the pre-draft evaluation, but quote, it's something we were comfortable with, unquote.
Taking a second.
That's probably a better one for Adam, but really that from each team has their own medical report and how it goes, and so from our club, it was something that we were comfortable with.
And hey man, if they're good with it, I know I am. And if anything, we are lucky that everything went down like it did and that Amos had some sort of a back injury. Of course, I'm not wishing that on him or anybody, but without the scare of a back injury, there's no way a first-round caliber talent like him makes it to us, not only in the second round, but at the end of the second round, 61st overall, almost an early third-round pick. We don't walk away from this draft with 2 first-round caliber players like we did if it wasn't for Connolly being super young, only 21 years old, with some strength issues, which I think he can easily figure out and get that anchor going. And then Amos, with only 1 year of actual college starting experience, having to be behind Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold at Alabama, and the back issue that seems to be a non-issue according to the Commanders. I mean, because he was just out there practicing, going 100% in the clips I showed y'all yesterday. So it looks like there's no back injury to worry about. So hey, shouts out to everybody else that skipped on him because of the back injury and allow him to fall to us at 61, because not only do we not have to worry about it long term at all, but even right now he looks 100%. So hey man, the Commanders really got away with one right there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so happy that we ended up with Trey Amos. I don't know how it happened. And just to let you know, Adam Peters said after they drafted Trey Amos that the team viewed him as an outside cornerback, and Quinn confirmed that, saying that he'll primarily be used at the outside cornerback spot because of his length and his ability to break up contested passes. So Lattimore, Amos, your 2 outside corners, and then Sanford Steele, more than likely your starting slot corner, but can play outside if you need to. And then Jonathan Jones and Noah Benogany, same thing, your backup rotational slot corners, but they can play outside in a pinch if you have to. Hopefully they don't ever have to. Now, I have a few clips from the rookie minicamp practices that were uploaded after I gave y'all my video yesterday. This one came from Bowie TV Sports and showing a clip of the linebackers actually doing some drills. And I'm excited, man. That boy Kane Madano, man, he can move. We'll see about like the tackling. That's one thing he has to work on, but that man can move. I mean, coming out of the draft, a lot of people didn't feel like he was the best coverage linebacker out of this entire 2025 draft class for no reason. And you're seeing some of that movement skill set with them in some of those clips. And then if you want to, at Bowie TV Sports on Twitter, I'm not going to show this because I feel like this is just way too long to just take somebody's video like that, but they have a whole 3-minute and 6-second highlight reel of all of the rookie minicamp stuff that was going on. Like, they were literally at practice. They had like a faraway view of what was going on. They have everybody warming up and everything like that. So if you want just a full 3-minute uninterrupted just highlight clip of rookie practices that went down yesterday, Saturday, May 10th, go to at Bowie TV Sports right there. And that's also where I just got that linebacker clip I showed y'all. Now moving on, you also have some of our rookie draft picks speaking to the media. First of all, you have Josh Connolly with this special message, you know, signing out. You know how Commanders players at the end of games, especially after victories, we have them talk to a camera like, hey, man, how you feeling about what just happened? And that's like this one with Josh Connolly.
What's going on, Commanders fans? Beautiful day out here in Ashburn to get some work in, and we had a great day. You know what I mean? Go Commanders.
And man, that boy got a baby face. I know he's only 21 years old, but it ain't no mustache. It ain't nothing yet. And I don't even think he's shaved. He just don't have it, man. That guy's as young as possible, which even further proves the point where a lot of analysts are saying, like, if he would have just stayed back another year, easy top 10 pick. I've heard that from several different people. Mel Kiper even went as far to say separately from, these are different analysts from different network all saying basically the same thing. Mel Kiper said that if he would have stayed another year, he would have been a top 5 pick in the upcoming 2026 NFL draft next year. So basically the Commanders got themselves a steal by buying in on somebody a year early, and you got him at 29 rather than being impossible for you to get him picking in the top 5 or top 10, because we're about to go win us a Super Bowl. And then also after that, Jalen Lane talked about getting the chance to play with Jaden Daniels. I thought that was an interesting interview right there as well.
Thinking about that, I'm extremely excited, man. You know, just being at the facility is exciting, but, you know, knowing, you know, when the vet guys get in and just, you know, the caliber of vet guys we have on this team is excited, being a rookie coming in.
Have you talked to Terry McLaurin yet? Has he had anything?
Not yet, no. I'm gonna be chopping up with him for sure as soon as they get here.
What sort of a difference can your speed make in a game?
Yeah, you know, I feel like, you know, separation and, you know, deep balls, short routes, whatever the case may be, I feel like, you know, speed is one of my assets, and I plan on using it every chance I get.
And then shouts out to Kane Madano. This is from Natalie Spalla on Twitter that was there at the practice. She asked rookie linebacker Kane Madano about getting acclimated and everything like that, and he said that he loves what's brewing here in Washington and he's blessed to be a part of it. He said, quote, "It's all about competition," unquote.
How are you feeling, first and foremost? Has it sunk in a little bit that this is
a little bit? Not yet. You know, I've been out here for a couple days, but I think, you know, once we get past this kind of rookie minicamp level and I start getting around a lot of the other teammates and stuff, I think it's going to start settling in. Like, you know, you're here now and your dreams have came true, and just continue to work and put your head down and see where you end up. You know, the vibe is good. It's all about competition. You know, we were out there competing each day, yesterday and today, and I just love to see the competition. Everybody out there smiling, having fun, doing what they love. You know, we play football because we love the sport and we love what it does for us, and we love the life lessons that it teaches us. So, you know, just being out there with my brothers, and some guys come from UCLA and then some guys that I knew from the combine process, just to be on the same field as them, it's just a blessing.
And then the very last thing, I didn't know Trey Amos had a grill, man. He's already my favorite player from this rookie class, outside of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, because I'm just really excited about his talent. I feel like that's a big need for us that he's going to provide with that agility, that home run speed. I feel like he brings something that our running back group doesn't have at all, like several different things too, not even just one thing. So Ja'Cory, I've been screaming, I think he's going to end up being the steal of the entire draft, regardless of pick, regardless of team. Out of every player that was just selected a couple of weeks ago, I feel like Ja'Cory has a great chance to be the biggest steal out of the entire draft. But outside of that, personality-wise, I mean, I've already seen it from how he plays on tape and things like that. But now that I see that he has that crazy grill right there, man, hey, man, more power to him, man. That's already my favorite. Again, outside of Ja'Cory, that's my favorite rookie, just off the grill alone. I have one, but it's nowhere near as expensive as his, man. So I got to step my game up, man. Shouts out Trenavian, man. I rock with that, man. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know if you feel about everything discussed in the video. Please still follow that like button, still follow the subscription button, and still follow the bell next to that subscription button, so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned to all of the content. Really appreciate y'all for supporting every video. As promised, first of all, just salute to you for making it this far in the video in the first place. But for the fun fact, and of course it's a 2022 one, but at least it's a good one. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin was the Commanders nominee for the NFL's Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award for 2022. But nominee, didn't even necessarily win it. I don't know why this calendar loves 2022 stats, but I'm already looking at the trivia question for tomorrow. It has nothing to do with 2022, so I'm excited to give y'all that one. Stay tuned for that one tomorrow. But either way, man, I really appreciate y'all again. As always, let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything discussed in the video, like the roster moves, and does that potentially mean that Gabe Taylor's gonna make this roster, or are we jumping to conclusions? How do you feel about the schedule leak, about the potential of the Commanders playing the Miami Dolphins in Spain, and how we could take over that market and have a whole bunch of Spanish Commanders fans over there in Europe, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel about everything Dan Quinn had to say about the team and how they want to go about things? Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video, man. I really appreciate y'all. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.